going on, world? It's your boy Gemini Brown here, back with another episode of Nalo Kicking Knowledge. Today, we'll be talking about what it's like to have Rahu, or the North Node, in the sign of Gemini or the third house, and at the same time, what it's like to have Ketu, the South Node, in Sagittarius or the 9th house. Okay? So, let's get into it. What are the nodes? All in Vedic astrology, they're known as Rahu and Ketu. In our astrology, we call them the North and the South Node. They are points of destiny. The nodes of the moon point towards points of destiny. The North Node is representing things, attributes, area of life in which we're really working towards, that is representing the evolutionary intent strongly, okay? To get a deeper understanding of this, I always like to say, look at your North Node in conjunction with your sun sign as well as your rising sign to get that real picture of the building blocks of your evolutionary journey here. And then the South Node pointing to the past, the comfortability, things that are natural. Also, the karmic reservoir of things you can tap into. And to further assess that, you know, you can look at Neptune, you can look at the moon, you can look at the 12th house, okay? And I love this one. I love this axis. And let me just say it once again. This video is going to pertain to whether you have this in the sign of Gemini and Sag, in whatever house, as well as if you have it in the 3rd or 9th house in whatever sign, okay? So the North Node in the 3rd house does pretty well. It does pretty well with Gemini energy, and that is because the North Node it's an opportunist energy. It is seeking expression. It is seeking experience. In essence, Rahu is a lifer. He wants to live it up. He wants to try everything that life has to offer, okay? So in Gemini, that curiosity is piqued, okay? And in the 3rd house, evolutionary-wise, this is showing that the individual is here to develop their intellect, find their voice, possibly express their truth in some type of manner, okay? So here in the 3rd house, the early environment and the connection to the environment is going to be important. As well as the family in which you're being born into. Now, this brings us back to our theme of finding our voice. Now, the family in which we're born into comes with a lot of different members. We have our parents, we have our grandparents, and we have our siblings. With your North Node in Gemini or the 3rd house, you're set in this lifetime to have some particular type of relationship with your sibling, and this is going to vary. For further insight, you'll want to check the ruler of the said sign or the house, okay, and how it is aspected. But the different dynamics ultimately still help one find his voice. Before doing a good movie that represents this is Welcome Home, Roscoe Jenkins, okay? This represents this principle very, very well, and it plays out like this in a different gamut of ways. So check out that movie, and if you watched it, definitely feel free to comment and let me know. But the relationship with siblings will influence your personality and development in some way, and the order in which the sibling you are. The youngest are going to have qualities. The middle kids are going to have particular qualities. The oldest are going to have particular qualities. Now, let's say one is born, because it's possible to, born in with a sibling with special needs, and maybe they're the oldest, and they feel a sense of, okay, I've always had to take care of my sibling, right? That can subconsciously influence the type of work that the person goes out and does within life, or what their truth is, okay? If, let's say, one is dissatisfied with, let's say, their identity or their role in the family, things like that, you have the Roscoe Jenkins effect, where that influences one to become or create a whole new character, right? That's very Gemini, third house like, a storyteller, writer, things of that nature. So then in the next vein, and like I said, stuff like this is data. You've probably not heard people explain this position like me, because these are my own genuine thoughts and derived through data. You see themes and you ask people, what's your experience, what's your life, and all of that. But I say that to say this: you will also find that not only will the person possibly have a lot of siblings, but one sibling in particular might be very successful, okay, or representative, like almost like the sun sign. One may have a sibling who is the sun sign of the North Node. So someone with North Node in Gemini having a Sun in Gemini sibling, or a third house sibling in some type of way. But typically, once again, so you learn, the sibling will represent something that the individual with the position is seeking to obtain, and sibling rivalry. So they can be conscious of that or unconscious of it, but it is a source of motivation. Now let's go to the 9th house. The 9th house is going to influence the philosophical or spiritual structure one is born into. So this is where you'll more so want to look at the lineage, the culture, your culture you're born into, and those individual family members. Does religion play a big role in your family? Is it an alternative culture? And depending on the chart, that becomes a source of strength for the person, of helping them accentuate their individuality, or even tap into that third house or Gemini. An easy way to explain this would be someone who's bilingual. So by virtue of my lineage being speaking another language, I am multifaceted and able to be Gemini-like. So that influence, piggybacking off of the sibling thing, what I was saying before, let's say someone's sibling is, deaf or something. So you may find someone who naturally knows sign language, things like that. So then we have the educational aspect to this. And then this is where I differentiate a little bit. So let's say we get Gemini, Sagittarius in like the 2nd or 8th house. Let's say North Node is in the 8th, Sagittarius in the 2nd. This, along with other positions, let's say we get a Saturn in the 9th with that, or even Moon in the 9th or something like that. That can represent delays in education, right? Learning, school being a transformative aspect for you. So for some people in this life path, that's finding your niche, later on in life, being able to really tackle whatever intellectual issues you had early on, coming into that more. But like I said before, the depositors, rulers will all reveal more, because it's all a puzzle here, okay? But this is kind of just showing you how you can tap into that energy. Then let's say we get that Gemini, Sag in like the 5th or the 11th, okay? A lot of this is going to be about taking an unconventional path, really having to experience life rather than just learn about it, okay? Then when we go back to the house aspect, 3rd North Node in the 3rd, South Node in the 9th, let's blend it up and put it into, let's say, Cancer and Capricorn. North Node in the third can definitely, that skill can be something you're taught via family. There's a family business. Early on, you're giving some tools that even if you don't know what to do with them in life, later on they become of value to you. So in this case, it's like some people will spend time seeking lots of freedom, like, oh, I'm going to do something. I come from a family of, I'm just going to say plumbers. I come from a family of plumbers. I don't want to be a plumber, right? But in actuality, your true value in life is the plumbing or the skills or what you inherited through them being plumbers. So I brought that one up because you can see a lot with these positions, man. That ultimately represents, you ever have a friend that's just like you think their culture's cool, but you know, like subconsciously, I don't like it or whatever. These are those type of dynamics. So it's like knowing what to embrace, what knowledge or wisdom, spirituality to embrace, what mindsets to adopt, being appreciative of culture, different perspectives, not being too fixed. These are all on one perspective, one ideology. These are all things that are within the path of the sun. Okay, so I'll park it there. Feel free to chime in. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, you could do so now. If you would like a copy of my book, Astrologer the Matrix, feel free to click the link or contact me directly. Check my website if you need a reading, all of that. Okay, until next time, peace.